From the clash of ancient shields to the roar of modern artillery, humanity's story is etched in conflict. Every battle, every skirmish, every strategic masterstroke has carved its mark upon the world we know today. We will journey across continents and centuries, from the deserts of Kadesh, where chariots once thundered, to the muddy fields of Europe, where empires were won and lost. We'll explore the pivotal moments that shaped nations, the brilliant tactics that turned the tide, and the incredible sacrifices made on the front lines. This isn't just about dates and names, it's about the pulse of combat, the weight of command, and the human stories behind the greatest struggles in history. Welcome to Battles Through History. Subscribe now and prepare to witness the past come alive like never before. Salamis was a stunning victory, but the war for Greece was far from over. King Xerxes, licking his wounds, retreated back to Asia, but he left behind a deadly parting gift, his elite land army, under the command of his most brilliant and ambitious general, Mardonius. The Persian invasion wasn't defeated, just crippled. As winter fell, Mardonius wisely withdrew his massive force to Thessaly to rest and resupply. But everyone in Greece knew he would be back, and sure enough, as the spring of 479 BCE blossomed, so did the renewed Persian threat. Mardonius marched south, and for the second time in as many years, he reoccupied the city of Athens. The Athenians, defiant but outnumbered, were forced to evacuate their homes once again. The stage was now set for the final, colossal showdown. This wasn't just another battle, it was for everything. It would decide, once and for all, whether Greece would remain a beacon of freedom or become just another province in the vast Persian Empire. The fate of the Western world would be decided on a dusty plain in Boeotia. The call to arms went out across the Hellenic world. On the plains of Boeotia, near the Asopus River, Mardonius assembled his formidable host. His army wasn't just Persian. It included warriors from across the empire and, crucially, Greek allies, most notably the skilled infantry of Thebes. Ancient sources give huge numbers, but modern historians estimate his force at a terrifying 100,000 men, a blend of elite infantry, swarms of archers, and the most feared weapon in his arsenal, a massive contingent of cavalry. To face this behemoth army, the Hellenic League mustered the largest Greek army ever seen. From city-states across the mainland and islands, soldiers marched to join the cause. Nearly 40,000 warriors answered the call. This included a powerful force of 10,000 Athenian hoplites, veterans of Marathon and Salamis, burning to reclaim their city. But this was a pan-Hellenic effort. Corinth, Megara, Sicyon, and dozens of other cities sent their best. The core of this army, its unshakable anchor, was the 8,000-strong contingent of Spartan hoplites and their accompanying helots. And commanding this entire allied force was the Spartan regent Pausanias. A cautious, calculating commander, he knew that the Persians had the numbers. The decisive question wouldn't be about size, but about cohesion, discipline, and leadership under fire. Could this patchwork alliance of rival city-states hold together against the might of a unified empire? The two colossal armies deployed near the small town of Plataea, facing each other across the river plain. What followed was not an immediate, bloody clash, but a tense, nerve-wracking standoff that dragged on for 11 long days. Mardonius was confident. He had the numbers, and he had the cavalry. His strategy was simple: harass the Greeks, cut their supplies, and lure them down from the high ground onto the open plain. There, his horsemen could outmaneuver and annihilate the slower-moving Greek infantry formations. Day after day, Persian cavalry squadrons thundered across the plain, skirmishing with the Greek lines, launching hit-and-run attacks, and trying to provoke a foolish, premature advance. But Pausanias was no fool. He was a Spartan, steeped in a tradition of discipline and patience. He understood the terrain and the strengths of his own army. He positioned his forces on the rocky, uneven slopes of the ridges, ground that was terrible for cavalry. He refused to take Mardonius's bait. He would not engage on Persian terms. So the armies waited, each commander trying to outthink the other. The standoff became a war of attrition, a battle of supply lines, and here Mardonius's cavalry proved devastatingly effective. They galloped around the Greek flanks, intercepting foraging parties and ambushing supply trains coming through the mountain passes. Crucially, they seized control of the Gargathian Spring, the primary source of water for the entire Greek army. Suddenly, Pausanias's strong defensive position had become a trap. Without food, and more importantly, without water, the great Hellenic army would wither and break apart without a single decisive fight. With his army dying of thirst and their supplies cut off, Pausanias was forced to make a move. He couldn't stay where he was, and he couldn't attack across the plain. He made a difficult but necessary decision: a tactical nighttime withdrawal. The plan was to pull the army back to a new position closer to the town of Plataea itself, securing a new water source and re-establishing their broken supply lines. It was a complex maneuver to be executed in the dark, involving dozens of separate contingents from different city-states. What happened next was a near disaster. The withdrawal was chaotic. Some contingents misunderstood the orders, others were reluctant to move, and the central division got lost in the dark. From the Persian camp, this disorganized movement didn't look like a tactical repositioning. It looked like a panicked, full-scale retreat. It looked like the Greek alliance was finally breaking. For Mardonius, this was the moment he had been waiting for. Convinced that the Greeks were fleeing in terror, he saw a chance to crush them completely. He abandoned his carefully laid plans and his patient strategy. Without waiting to organize his entire army, he gave the order for an immediate, all-out pursuit. Victory is ours, he must have thought. He led his elite Persian infantry and cavalry in a mad dash to catch and destroy the Greeks before they could escape or regroup. This single, impetuous decision, born of overconfidence, was the greatest mistake of his life. He was charging headlong into the very trap the Greeks had, albeit accidentally, laid for him. The dawn light revealed a chaotic scene. The Persian vanguard, with Mardonius at its head, slammed into the Greek rearguard much sooner than anyone expected. The Greek withdrawal had stalled, and the army was dangerously fragmented. On the Greek left flank, the 10,000 Athenians found themselves locked in a desperate struggle against the pro-Persian Thebans. It was a bitter civil war within the larger conflict, Greek against Greek, spear against spear. But the decisive action, the climax of the entire war, was happening on the right flank. There, the Spartans and Tegeans, commanded by Pausanias, were caught in the open. The Persian cavalry swarmed them, followed by waves of infantry. For a moment, it looked like disaster, but these were Spartans. Under a hail of arrows, they performed a maneuver that would become legendary. Pausanias, seeing the Persian main body charging straight for him, gave the order. The Spartans wheeled, locked their shields, lowered their spears, and formed their unbreakable phalanx. The two forces crashed together in a brutal, grinding melee. It was not a battle of tactics anymore, but of sheer courage and force of will. The Persians, with their wicker shields and shorter spears, were at a severe disadvantage against the bronze-clad Spartans with their long, deadly doru. Pausanias himself fought in the front ranks, a king leading from the very point of danger. The turning point came amidst the chaos of the fray. Mardonius, conspicuous on his white charger and leading his elite bodyguard, was spotted. A Spartan named Arimnestus took aim and hurled his spear. It found its mark. The Persian commander was struck down and killed. The moment their charismatic leader fell, a wave of panic ripped through the Persian ranks. The heart of their army was gone, their courage shattered. The elite bodyguard broke and fled, and seeing them run, the entire Persian line collapsed into a full-blown rout. The battle turned into a slaughter. The fleeing Persians streamed back towards their fortified camp on the banks of the Asopus River, the only place of refuge. But the victorious Greeks were right behind them. The Athenians, having defeated the Thebans on their flank, joined the Spartans in assaulting the Persian stockade. After a fierce struggle, the Greeks broke through the walls. What followed was a massacre. The Greek army, enraged by the invasion and the burning of their cities, showed little mercy. The vast Persian army that had threatened to enslave Greece was utterly annihilated. The Battle of Plataea was one of the most complete and decisive victories in ancient history. But the day wasn't over. As if orchestrated by the gods, on that very same day, hundreds of miles away across the Aegean Sea, the Greek fleet landed at Mycale in Ionia and destroyed the remnants of the Persian navy. This double victory, on land and at sea, was the final death blow to Xerxes' ambitions. The Persian invasion of Greece was over, forever. Plataea secured Greek independence. It confirmed the superiority of the disciplined hoplite phalanx and proved that when the fiercely independent Greek city-states united, they were an unstoppable force. This victory ushered in an era of unprecedented confidence and creativity. It laid the foundation for the golden age of Athens, the rise of classical philosophy, drama, and art, and cemented the legacy of a civilization that would shape the future of the entire world. The heroes of Plataea didn't just save Greece, they defended the very idea of freedom. Thank you for journeying with us through the echoes of history's most pivotal battlefields. We hope this exploration into the past has been as insightful for you as it was for us to create. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please show your support by hitting that like button. It truly helps us out. Share this video with any fellow history buffs you know. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel, Battles Through History, for more epic tales. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when we march into our next chapter. We love hearing from you, so drop your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, keep the spirit of exploration alive.